right, anyway, I'm gonna go through, I'm gonna start answering some questions. So James, this is James's first question. I sent him a link to a recent bike school video. And anyway, James says, can I get some tips for learning tail whips? I struggle to keep the bike under me and it tends to fling away from me. Yeah, so it's really hard to give trick advice without seeing the attempt. And that's why we do, for the bike school members in the Facebook group, we can actually see the attempts and give the feedback based on that. But James, I'll just kind of go over like a couple of the common things. And the video that I sent, the bike school video, the things I'm talking about are things that you should learn before you even try a tail whip. A lot of people try tail whips or try different tricks before we're ready for it. And so if you're trying a tail whip before you can jump comfortably and level out, you're not going to be able to tail whip because you can't even get the jump part down. And so anyway, that's the gist of that. So look through that video, make sure you've got the things that I talked about. A foot variation so you can get your foot back on, jumping comfortably so you can lean over it. And I assume you're doing it fly out. And anyway, the hardest part for me when doing the whip was understanding how much under me it has to be. So when you come off the coping, usually we kick the whip too early. That's one of the first things. You come off, you kick it right away before you've jumped and leveled out. And so if you're kicking it right away, imagine you're coming out of the quarter. Imagine the position your body's in when you're coming out of the quarter, okay? Your body's expanded out. You're in that expanded motion. And doing a tail whip like that's not gonna work. Your bike's like this, your body's like this, it just won't work. And so you've gotta wait until you level out and then kick the whip. So you're popping off the quarter, getting in the air, and waiting. And once you start to level out, that's when you snap it, because your weight is already headed down, your body's headed down, and your body's leveled out over top of the bike. And I think that's one of the number one reasons people don't get the bike below them. Now, when you start to do it right, you're gonna dead sailor. So if you dead sailor, you know you're doing something right. It can be painful, but just be prepared to dead sailor, because when you come out and you kick the bike at the right time, you're gonna dead sailor until you figure out how to pull it back and get enough momentum for that initial kick. So just plan to dead sailor, and I mean, if you're dead sailoring, you're doing it right. Now just kick the bike a little bit harder and snap it with your wrist, and you'll be able to get it around. But make sure you're not throwing the whip too early. That's pretty much the most common thing.